Hi there, everyone. So, as you can probably already see, you might want to grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, because I have a feeling we're going to be sitting here for a hot minute. On Sunday, I recorded a twin flame reading, and it won't upload. It still just says I've got 2 hours left since Sunday. Today's Wednesday. So, part of that I understand because I've been getting more and more downloads as to what I'm experiencing in my journey that I feel is very relevant for y'all. So I started just pulling some random decks. I don't even have my tarot out yet. I'll have to pause the camera to go get that, but we're going to tap into this again and see where the energy is. So the other day's reading, and right now I'm deciding to leave it uploading, but the title of that was "The Counterparts Are Being Prepared to Allow Themselves to Receive." And in order to receive, we've got to be empty, right? So if you've been on the purging, releasing, dissolving end of things, you're right on target, let me tell you. I will be sharing my story because that's how Spirit wants to use me. I don't really revel in talking about myself and my journey, but I've noticed over the last couple of years since having this channel active that that's what they want. So let's see. A couple decks I already drew from, and I've been getting this message, even though it's not the message of this card, but the wording of this card. It says dream speaking. I've been getting the messages every morning that I have been in counsel with my counterpart in the dream state. I can feel it. I don't recall a lot of it, but then throughout the day I'll get the trickles of the downloads that we've both received and the wisdom of them. The other deck I got out was the Gateway of Light Activation by Kyle Gray. It's been really calling me lately. And last night I drew from this deck for myself and my counterpart. And this card came out for my counterpart. Sacred Inner Space. This is the sacral chakra, tenderness, sensuality, feminine energy. I also received this. I think this may have come out in the other reading or just a personal reading I've done, but it's familiar from a recent reading. Soul Star Activation. Who's our Soul Star activator? Archangel Muriel. Fulfilling soul contracts. Remembering who you are. So this definitely goes along the lines with what I have been moving through. And at first I thought that it was my inner feminine clearing the core wound for the female lineage in my family. Past, present, future, right? But what I've come to understand a little bit more is that it's the inner masculine, part of me wants to say as well as the inner feminine, purging where they did not feel safe in the feminine energy, to receive, to express themselves, to be seen, to be heard, to be loved. Everything that I have been moving through, so for my personal journey, I have recently discovered that I am closing the Akashic records on my family line's core wound of feeling insignificant, unloved, unwanted, unimportant, and where I didn't feel safe communicating with my mother. And when she was with us, gotcha right here, Mama. I kept my life with my divine counterpart, especially that, very private. She, she knew him and was at our house, but I didn't share what I knew the connection was. So I kept a lot. I didn't trust her with it because my mom had a very bad taste in her mouth because of her marriage with my dad and her marriage with her second husband. So I kept it to myself because, well, I didn't feel safe. I didn't want to sit there and be bashed for how I felt and what I know of the connection with my counterpart. How that is manifested in my connection with my daughter is what has led me to do this deep dive work. And I've been at it for a couple years, really, on and off. And this summer has been June, July has been I've been in the darkest places of the Akashic Records and of my heart to dissolve this core wound. And I can say that I feel I can say I've started to turn the corner because Sunday and Monday, as I was doing some of this work, I received feathers out of nowhere, just sitting there, and all of a sudden, there they are. And I know that's my mom. I know that she's assisting me with this, as well as my grandmothers, great-grandmothers, and all the other females in my family line, whom, amazingly so, were very strong masculine energies. Just realized that. So that's important to say. I'm trying to think if I said everything that I need. I mean, what I don't often recall even when I'm speaking here, when I'm recording. So the counterparts are, and I gotta say, it's gotta be both male and female, whoever, it doesn't matter, male or female. It's the masculine and the feminine, but the inner masculine, inner feminine. All of us, we're all going through the same thing of, the masculine energy is preparing to receive the feminine, and the feminine is ready to preparing to receive. Well, I said ready, so okay, ready to receive the masculine, and not the video that's uploading, that won't upload, is how that was playing out. The feminine was a really great spot. So was the masculine, actually, but they were definitely going through some karmic lessons. But the union energy, it just was so balanced for me. Chariot came out a lot. Ten of Cups came out. So it just really moving toward the pinnacle is the word I'm hearing. But it has felt like pushing a boulder uphill, to get to this place. For me personally, don't know how you're feeling, but that's how it's come through for me, because that's what I was shown. I was shown pushing the boulder up, and I got to the top of the mountain, and I left it there, and then right now, after Monday, I am currently slowly descending the mountain without the boulder, without the baggage, without the core wound, right? And now I'm swimming in, and forgive me if I tear up because I have been really weepy and purging emotionally with this. Where I'm at now is I don't know who this Mary Jo is yet, because I've never walked this planet without that boulder, without that core wound hooked into me. Physically, my body is really undergoing a transformation, and it is purging through the skin, through the physical of all of this, whatever all that was, right? And however many centuries and lifetimes and it goes. But I can tell you has not been an easy ride. But I'm here. I still rise. So what I've written down on that note, and when I say that word rise, I look right down at my notes from when I was channeling earlier. Got the word risen. I have written down new level of mission being discovered by the pair. Walking the talk, leading by example. This card here speaks about, in the book, it speaks about sharing your experience. It speaks about living by example and being creative and letting others see you. And then we have, remembering who you are. When we remember who we are, there comes an element of allowing ourselves to be seen. And I feel like that's where the counterparts that I'm channeling are right now. I also wrote down, all of this is rising in the collective counterparts energy. The divine feminine, the divine masculine are speaking in dream state, which I've already expressed, receiving the same downloads, understanding new self, and sharing that. So again, that's what I channeled. Then these cards come out, and they're kind of, really speaking to that again for me. So let's get a card from this new deck. I absolutely love this deck. It's called the Mist of Avalon Oracle. I actually forgot I ordered it over a month ago. But the deck is, it's fine. It's not very wowsy. It's got the Triskelion there, and but when I open the book, the pages are in a crew color, not bright white, but they have this feel to them. As soon as I open the book, I just, even looking down at it now, I get this wave of, this vibration over me that, I know I've got a lifetime there, as many of us do, but it's just, it's like so, and that's very relevant for me to be saying that. It's very nondescript on the outside, very plain. A lot of decks have, a lot going on on the back side of the cards, but this is very nondescript. And Triskelion again on the bottom. You can't really see that. It's in here in the box. But then you open it up and you just get this feel of an ancient time. And I know it doesn't really show up on the camera as well as it does in front of me, but it feels very powerful. So let me get a card for Let's get one card for the divine feminine and one card for the divine masculine. Suddenly getting a really strong headache. I know we just had some geomagnetic storms prior to my turning on the camera here, so that could be just what I'm picking up, but well, I've got 3 out, and I'm going to use them exactly the way they came out. So we're doing Divine Feminine is getting the Camelot. It's aspiration, ideals, honor, and trust. The Divine Masculine has got the number 11 card. That was 6. Getting Excalibur. Action, truth, power, sovereignty. That's incredible for the Divine Masculine to be receiving. And the Union energy is the other world, rebirth, everlasting, the ethereal, and the journey. I just got emotions just rising up in me right now. Ooh, I did not expect that. Divine Feminine is in a really good space when it comes to this connection. She has I'm hearing she's mastered the surrender part, because the detachment and surrender has been such a struggle for the Divine Feminine over the years, has it not? Because we think, well, we were told, well, you need to surrender, let go of your counterpart, but nobody explained any further, at least not for me and any of the mentors that I've had since I've been awake to this journey. Nobody really explained what that meant, other than Marla Kelly. She has a saying, I'm going to have to go look at it again. I've got it taped up in my bathroom mirror. But everyone else just left it at that. You need to let go. Well, what does that mean? Well, let go. How do you let go? Why am I letting go? What does that mean? Because it was so contradictory for me, understanding the connection, the cord that connects us, knowing that it can never be severed, but I was told to let go of it. My 3D brain could not wrap itself around that. But right now, she's there. She's there. She's not chasing the Divine Masculine. She's not searching for signs from the Divine Masculine. She is finding inspiration, new inspiration. Ooh, just got chills on that. For her life and for her journey. She's trusting that what's meant for her will find her. The Divine Masculine is also, I'm feeling, in some level of trust. They're learning the truth of who they are. They're learning the truth of the connection, being shown mirrored steps for them to take. So Divine Feminine, if you're following your nudges, Divine Masculine is following their nudges. They may be receiving them just in a different way. Theirs may be through a mental thought or an idea. Yours is, can be any which way, but it tends to be like an intuitive hit, or just this knowing that you've got to go here, do this, do that, or do this type of healing. So just feels like the Divine Masculine is gaining some power here, and the Divine Feminine is just da-di-da-di-da, just going about her business. She's not running, she's not racing, she's just cantering into, her life, her experiences, and the Union is getting a rebirth. Didn't we have, I read that somewhere else. Yeah, I want to say they're getting a new beginning here, it's not going to be anything that we recognize. So keep in mind that that is going to bring up, it may bring up, not for everyone. And if it does, it just means it's going to be a marker as to where you're at, and it's okay. It might bring up some level of discomfort. Let me just say it that way, because you're not yet familiar with the new self, masculine, feminine. Um, you're not used to how the inner masculine and feminine are playing now. So there's that. I do want to say, because I'm hearing it, this new moon in Leo tomorrow. So I'm recording this. I can't remember if I even said that earlier. I'm recording this on July 23rd. We have a new moon in Leo tomorrow. And new moons are important for manifestation, setting intentions, renew, new beginnings, things like that, fresh new energy. But this one in particular is quite potent, even more potent than normal. Why? Because we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus heavily in conversation with this new moon. This new moon is about the new self, discovering the new self, integrating the shadow, and that's what I spoke about in the Mercury retrograde video I just uploaded on. Well, I did it Sunday as well, but I don't know when it uploaded yesterday, Monday, Tuesday, but that took forever to upload as well. It's almost like Spirit just like not letting my messages get out. We'll see how this one goes, right? So let me pause the camera and go find some tarot. All right, yeah, so I picked up the book for this Avalon deck, and I just wanted to look at the Camelot card for the feminine, and I can agree. This definitely is speaking about the willingness to trust beyond what is in the now, what's right in front of us. And we've had to do that because of 3D experience with our counterpart. Again, we've all been told this, it's an illusion, which, I have understood that it is. It's just a game that's being played out, and certain people have their roles in it. This is about honoring your journey, honoring yourself. Well, let's just take a look at the 11 real quick. Excalibur. This card is asking you to set things in motion and not simply respond to things and other people around you. Once you have decided to take action, claim your right to speak the truth and live your life by your own integrity and rules. I'm getting a big sovereignty. Is that word? It is. That word is on here. There's 4 words on this card here on each side there. So definitely. And I've been picking that up from the masculine collective energy too. There's a level of sovereignty. They both counterparts probably walked away from things, people, jobs, living situations. It's funny because I keep I'm talking and then Spirit will sidetrack me. Can I blame that on Mercury and Neptune? Well, we got a card that just flipped. Divine Masculine's overall energy, Queen of Pentacles, taking care of themselves. It could represent the feminine, embracing the feminine energy. Pentacles is a feminine energy. Ooh. There you have it. Reading done. Emperor, embracing their inner feminine. Not having a comfy time with it, because look at the look at his face. He looks like, kind of looks like he just swallowed something that didn't sit well on his stomach. It's really difficult because, you know, uh, they could be inundated with emotions. I can relate to that. What else can we know about the masculine? I wasn't even ready in these cards, just the deck was. The deck, sure. There we are. Success. Vicar, yeah, I feel like I want to say also having some moments with facing the ego. I'm hearing some of them have been knocked off their perch. That's interesting. Well, we all do at one point in time. And, you know, we can always say, well, you know, this situation or that situation, but, you know, we've done it ourselves. We've put ourselves in a position, um, I want to say a mental position that isn't serving anymore. So I'm hearing that the phrase being knocked off your high horse. So, and I want to say this has got the feel of the feminine, inner feminine energy within the masculine counterpart. Um, it's got them on their knees. But they're fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to be successful. They're recognizing where they haven't embraced their inner feminine, where they've turned their back on the feminine, external and internally. Not just you, though. I feel it goes deep into a core mother wound for the divine masculine as well. You know, like I was speaking about before. You know, at first I thought it was the feminine wound that I was healing, and I was healing. I'm healing and closing out the cycle for the females in my family line, but it's where the inner masculine in all of my female lineage never felt safe to be who they are, you know, never felt safe to speak who they are and to express and to be seen, right? And now here's the masculine ready to be seen, really ready to be seen. But it's coming at a cost. I'm hearing that his face is just like it looks sour. It's like, you know, that's what I'm getting. It's come with a cost. And what is that cost? Divine masculine, can you share that? Love, truth, honor. They are looking toward the future there, though. These two are sitting on the table for me, going toward the future successfully. I'm here determined to make things better. Maybe coming in with, well, some will be slow, some will be a little fast. But he's going in the opposite direction. Yeah, I mean, I really feel like some of the masculines have got that brake and gas pedal energy going on right now. The energies haven't quite settled. I feel like this new moon in Leo is going to certainly assist with that. We'll tap into that in a moment. What else? Max, yeah. Strength, Hermit. What I've been doing behind the scenes is I have been working and working and working on myself. Some of them do best with their inner work while they're doing projects. I know my divine masculine does. That's how he channels his energy. And divine feminine, we can do nothing but honor that, right? So I do have 8 on the table here. So Lionsgate has been coming up for me for the last, all year really. If you've been watching me that long, so you know that this Lionsgate, it's always big for me for twin flame connections, but this year just feels even bigger. And of course, that has to do with all the planets that are shifting signs this year. 2025 is no joke, let me tell you. It is no joke. It's like that ride or die energy. What is what are your hopes here with the divine feminine here? I'm hearing coming out of stagnancy. So where there's been no action, wanting to take action. So we've got the Ace of Wands. I'm getting a tad bit of, I don't want to call it fear. I'm getting, what's it called? Trepidation? Is that the right word? Trepidation? They want to come forward, but they're a little nervous about it. They're a little shy about it. But I feel like Spirit's getting them ready to do so. And if you are connecting with the energy of separation between you and your counterpart, just know that this is what they've been doing. If you've been doing the work, they've been doing the work. Don't have any questions or doubts. And there is the King of Pentacles on the bottom. We started with the Queen of Pentacles, so there's some balance that's occurring. Yeah, Five of Swords, Knight of Swords, Page of Swords, Nine of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and then there's the counterpart. It has not been easy. It has not been easy for this divine masculine energy. They've been all up in their head, and I gotta tell you, even though I don't know how to put words, human vocabulary words to this, so just bear with me. But what I was been moving through is I was clearing the interpretation, my perception of my relationship with my mom, my relationship with my daughter, and looking back at my mom's relationship with her mom, even though I never knew her, but I know of it, So as I'm clearing these mental constructs, it was coming out through the heart space. So it was a very mental emotional purge. And the dance between the energies was really interesting for me to tap into. So the divine masculine has certainly been going through that. And if you're watching this for your own inner masculine and feminine energies, then you probably already know that it's been a mental and an emotional purge. Let's tap in to see where the divine feminine is. Just saw 33:44 on the timer, and I pulled 2 cards for myself from the Christ Consciousness deck by Amanda Ellis this morning, and they were the 33 and the 44 card, Mother Mary and Yeshua. So divine feminine coming out with the Ace of Cups. Ooh, it's saying something different to me. Yeah, been emotionally overwhelmed and working on, she's focused on filling her cup, so she may be silent. She just may be retreating right now, maybe being by water. That'll be me tomorrow. Being me and the other grandma are going to the beach tomorrow by ourselves. So it's something about really getting your feet on the earth too. I'm hearing that's a great suggestion right now. But divine feminine is certainly purging emotionally. And I am hearing again, learning to fill her own cup. What else, Divine Feminine? Page of Cups. Yeah, feeling very vulnerable right now. King of Cups. Well, can we say that she's in her feels? I also feel that the Divine Feminine is noticing a rise in feeling the connection again. You know how it is, folks, that, if you've been on this journey for a minute, then you know that it's, as we go through our processes, there could be big gaps of time where you can't even feel anything for your counterpart, but you feel it. It's something that we have to really work on, trusting with our inner senses instead of our mind, right? And if you've not felt your masculine's energy lately, you're probably slowly starting to feel that again. Somebody playing music out there. Feeling a growth of love. Look at, she's got the Six of Wands too. Victory, success, healing shadow. Strength, they both have it. Yeah. I can say that this feminine right here, this female, this divine feminine, has been in the trenches. So is the masculine. We're very much mirroring. He's got the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knight of Cups, which is the action. She's got the Page and the King. The receiving of it. Like that. What else, Divine Feminine? Where are you at? What can you share with us, Spirit? What the Divine Feminine is? Two of Swords. What's that? Yeah. Communication. What she doesn't see coming, look at that. Clear communication. Eight of Wands. Queen of Swords. I do want to say that she has been busy clearing the path of all energies. It's not just, like closing out Akashic records in your lineage. This is about clearing things that are in your physical, clearing up your own way of how you communicate with yourself, to yourself, about yourself, and with others. That had a lot to do with that dream speaking card as well. And then we got the Judgment here. I feel like the Divine Feminine certainly received recently if not, then you're going to. And again, we've got, so he had the Eight of Pentacles with the Eight of the Strength card. She's got the Eight of Wands with the Eight of the Strength card. So again, 8-8, the Lionsgate portal is going to bring a huge awakening. Huge awakening. I feel like I want to say, Divine Feminines, even though you have been prepared and you've been prepared for this, it's going to surpass anything you can imagine. Definitely going to surpass. Yeah, look at that. So we've got the Three of Swords on the bottom of the deck, healing old wounds. She's got the Ace of Wands in the upright and the Ace of Pentacles. Three of Wands, manifesting, holding space. She's chosen the path fully. I feel she's done that quite a while ago, but definitely new beginnings coming in, and she can't wait. I'm hearing she can't wait. Let's take a look at the Union. Didn't get another deck. Let's use this one. There's another 8 on the bottom of that deck. So let's see. Where's the collective union energy? Oh, holy cow. Holy cow. Well, we've got the Emperor coming right out of the gate. Gaining steam, gaining power. We've got the Ace of Swords. We've got Excalibur. Again, the truth is being known by both. Truth, clarity, Hangman, clarity, enlightenment. The Devil. And the Six of Pentacles. These two cards are coming up with heavy karmic energy feeling to me. Using that Ace of Swords to clear the path of what's out of balance, of old addictions, old temptations. Needing to see. So here's my thing. If you've got some past addictions or temptations showing up in your life, you're being shown the purpose of why they're there. You may utilize them if you're guided to, or you will be guided in a different direction. It's going to be different for all of you. I also want to say that this Hangman is saying to me that this connection is clearly seen. Again, I'm going to use my own example. I never want anyone to think, well, all she does is talk about herself. Well, that's not what I'm doing. So that's for me to clear up for myself. But because I never shared my life with people. It was funny to hear me talk as much as I do now. But so my current story is, between my daughter and I recognize where the other grandmother has come in to be a bridge for her and I, so I can clear this Akashic Records thing and and all that. But there's another thing. How I met her came through another friend. So how it's amazing how all these people contracted, like my parents and her parents and my other friend's parents, all contracted to come incarnate at this time so we can meet, so I can start working for the one and then meet the other. You follow me there? So it's just so wild to think of all the steps that got me to right here. It's just really wild. So this connection is definitely going through a metamorphosis, mentally, emotionally. There's some self mastery here, especially with the two strength cards, and we've got the Emperor on the table twice. What else do we need to know? Ten of Wands and the Fool. Look at this. I love this deck of this card and the Ten of Wands for this deck because it's typically one person carrying the load. Now it's two. It's sharing the load. Divine masculine, divine feminine, the ones that I am channeling right in this minute are doing the work together. Heading right toward a new cycle, a new journey, a new beginning. And we had that. We got rebirth, everlasting, the ethereal, and the journey for the union energy, right? New beginnings. Both counterparts now knowing who they are. And that it's not just some random, it's very interesting. I don't have the Hierophant here, but It's not just some random relationship that you have in this 3D. Uh, Spirit, I want to know what this new moon in Leo is bringing for the pair here. What kind of energy? What are we? Okay, so what energy is leaving with this new moon? Well, that was fast. Six of Wands. The third time it's coming out, and it's coming out as ego here, and the Four of Cups. What's leaving is, and the 6 and 4 is the 10. So definitely a new cycle, a beginning after one ends. This is, how do I want to put that? Yeah, so I'd be reminded what I said earlier about how the divine feminine is, fully surrendered and knows she doesn't chase. This is like she's not sitting there waiting anymore. She's living her life. She's enjoying her life. She's taking action in her own life. She's doing some shadow work. She's recognizing ways that she has waited before for her counterpart. And I feel like I could say the divine feminine is like shifting the I don't know why I'm really leaning toward her energy right now, but yeah, she's changing the script here. Get to right. So the Ace of Wands. Getting to rewrite the soul contract. Does the masculine energy do that? Because they are the physical, they do the work physically. And I don't know if that came out right. Okay, so that's what's leaving. Where we've been disappointed, where maybe we've been too much in our ego. Yes, there's the sun. This is what's coming in with the again, Leo energy, new moon in Leo. This is what's coming in. A new beginning. An opportunity to be seen. There's the 8. Come on. Can't make this up. Lionsgate is all over this table. Doing the work. We are going to start seeing, come the Lionsgate portal, from the push from this new moon in Leo, we are going to be seeing some physical manifestation of this connection. Yes, I'm hearing just yes. Okay. Anything else we need to know about this new moon in Leo? Apparently, we got here. Well, she was on the bottom of the deck, and she certainly wanted to be seeing the Queen of Pentacles. So we've got the Queen of Pentacles over here, the Divine Masculine. Yeah, so I feel like the Divine Masculine is coming into the feminine. They're really having a hard time expressing this. Well, there you go. You know, the Divine Masculine will be expressing their their inner feminine. Let's get anything else on this new moon that counterparts need to be aware of. There's another 8. 8 of Wands, communication coming in. 7 of Cups in reverse. I'm going to say definitely communication coming in all the way around here. And it just solidifies the closing out of illusions, the end of illusions. I feel like it just clears the air. You know, it's like you might think that this conversation doesn't need to happen, And whether it happens in the physical or in the dream state, it's imperative that both counterparts can clear the air somehow. Maybe that's writing letters and burning them. I've talked about that a lot because it's something that I do quite often, and you can feel the energy release when you do that. But if you feel there's still a communication to be had in the physical, then it's important to do that. But I just feel the energy is really pushing the two counterparts together, pushing the two counterparts to look at what they believed in the past, and the lies they've been telling themselves. I feel like there's a communication that comes through that says, I thought this dream was done. And Spirit's like, no, it's not. Now you get to walk it together. You get to help each other. You carry your load, they carry their load, but you enjoy the journey together. There's no more. I mean, come on. Do you know you've been doing this all along? I shouldn't be saying this on my channel. I would hope not, but do you know you've been doing this all along? There is no separation. Yes, my counterpart's not here in the house. Doesn't live with me. Haven't heard from him since Bridget died. Well, no, since little shit died in April. But doesn't mean that I don't know that he's walking this path with me. May not be going through exactly what I'm going through, but energetically, it's clearing the same things in him as it is in me. If you've had the illusion, or if you've thought this dream was dead, you're going to find out differently. So if you're in that camp where you've just gone on your journey, and I don't know, Spirit's stopping me right there. Y'all are doing the same thing. You are. I feel like this is, if anything else, this is just a confirmation for some of you out there that, and those of you who know this, you can feel it inside. You can feel that when you clear something, that it's cleared with your counterpart. You don't need the words, you don't need the proof. And that's where we're meant to be. We're not meant to be searching for physical proof. Let the universe bring it in. We have Thoth, divine magic. The teacher awakens. The student becomes the master. Well, we've got strength all over here, so definitely some self-mastery. We have learned much, and now we get to teach. Some of you may be, speaking your experiences to teach. What else? Is that Charity again? It is. This comes out quite often. Charity, pillar of service. Serve with a gracious heart and know God is serving you. Mission work. You've been doing it all along in your learning experience. Take time to review, study, and hone your knowledge before proceeding further. And I feel like this might be what the Divine Masculine is doing, because this is so new for them. I know it's new for the Divine Feminine to trust their inner masculine, to be vulnerable and to be and to protect them and to keep them safe and be safe there. But I feel it's even harder for the Divine Masculine to trust their inner feminine, to trust that they are safe, to express their emotions. And yeah. Is there anything else here? No. Let's see if this one uploads. You'll know it if you're watching it, right? So yeah, I love this, that they're on the same page. A lot of mirroring going on here. A lot of mirroring. And a lot of things clearing. Interesting, I didn't get, I was kind of thinking maybe that the High Priestess might come out because of the Akashic Records thing. But maybe that'll come out in my own personal reading, because it's just what I've been going through. But yeah, Taking a look here. Is there anything else? Masculine. Not feeling it. All right. I think I'm going to close it off there and hope this makes sense. Sometimes lately it's been making me wonder if I'm making sense when I'm talking, because I'm just being, my brain is being, yeah, befuddled lately. Thank you, Mercury. No, it's just everything I'm going through. There's a lot that I've been having to process. So, all right. Ooh, I love this song. Can you hear it in the background? Guns N' Roses. One of my songs for my daughter. Sweet child of mine. So, all right, my friends, I'm going to leave it there. Take care of yourselves. Lots and lots and lots and lots of water. It's so important right now. The nervous system is getting an overhaul, to say the very least. And if you are clearing and dissolving Akashic records and contracts, even more important for you to take in extra water, electrolytes, salt, you know, a little bit of salt, sea salt in your water for your electrolytes. So yeah, I'll talk to you soon. Okay, I love you.